What's up YouTube, how you doing? This is Mr. Tiebox123, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you some unboxings of a few products that I've got to do with the photography. So the first item I've got is this Hahnel Pro Remote Control Combi TF remote control and flash trigger. Now you can pick this up from Amazon for about £40 or $55, and it does two things. You can either use it as a remote flash trigger, as you can see here in this image, which enables you to just put a transmitter on the hot shoe of your camera, a receiver on the bottom of your flash, and then you can just position your flash wherever you want rather than actually having to have it on the top of the camera itself. So you can put it on a tripod, or you can just put it on the floor, or whatever you want to do, but it just separates it away from the camera so you can position it more accurately. Now I did a photo shoot recently using this and it worked extremely well. In fact, we used two of these. So we had two transmitters on each camera and then two receivers on two flashes, put them either side of the subject, and it worked really well. Now the second part of it is the remote shutter release, in which case you actually swap the transmitter with the receiver the other way around, and it just enables you to remotely access the shutter button. So you just simply put the receiver on top of the camera, hold the other button that you can see here, and just press it, and it's just going to release the shutter on the camera and take a picture. So if you wanted to do self-portraits, or you wanted to take something from a distance, that's going to work really well. Now this works with pretty much all cameras. They say for Nikon and they also say for Canon, but really they both work on either. I don't know why they've quite put that writing on the case. Now the second thing I've bought here is this yongnuo speedlite YN465 flash. Now I needed an external flash, so I hunted around. The Nikon ones are ridiculously expensive, and obviously I'm not a professional, so I don't really want to invest that kind of money in a flash. But this one actually came up on Amazon in the UK for about £60. In the US it was about $78, and I just thought it was an absolute bargain. It's a really powerful flash. It just does the job really well. Now the third thing that I've bought, and some of you have seen this being used in the the pre-3 video that I did, and it's just a slider for the camera to give you that really nice kind of sliding effect. So on the top here you can see I've put a little mount for the camera so I can move it around, and then literally it just slides up and down. So you just mount your camera on the top, slide it up and down, and it's really smooth. I think this one's the 60cm version, or sort of 2 foot, something like that. And yeah, really impressed with it. And this came in at about £99, and I also think it's about $120 in the US. And it actually is really nicely made. It's made out of a kind of solid aluminium that they've sort of cut out. The block itself on the top is really nice, and it slides really nicely put together. It's got a little spirit level in it here. And then I just, like I say, put this little sort of adapter on the top, which enables me to screw into the tripod input on the bottom of the camera, and then you can angle it quite nicely. So anyway guys, that's a kind of first look at these products. Let's get into some unboxings here and actually see what we've got inside these two little packages here. So first of all, we got the Hahnel Pro Remote Control Combi TF, like I said, remote control and flash trigger. Now on the front it tells you obviously you can use it with this whole range of Nikon cameras, but like I said, you can actually use it with pretty much any camera you want. We tried this on a Canon and it works completely fine. On the back here we've just got a whole load of instructions and detailed information, and we also get the AAA batteries included as well. So let's just open this up and see what we've got. Now thankfully this is not one of those stupid shrink wrap packages, so this is quite easy to open. And here we go. So this is the actual remote shutter release here. Like I say, you can press that button there and that's going to remotely trigger the shutter on your camera when you've got the other component into the hot shoe. Got the hot shoe there on the bottom as well when you're using it the opposite way round. So when you're using it as a remote flash trigger, you can just do that. On the back you can see we've got the battery, and then we've got the dip switches along the top here, which are going to enable us to kind of change the frequency a little bit if we want to just separate it from maybe someone else's. Now the next bit is the kind of other half. Now this part is when you're using it with the remote flash and also the remote trigger. When you were using it with the remote flash, you put your flash on top of this. This goes on top of your camera, or you can use it the other way around and press the button to set off the remote shutter release on the camera. Got an extra hot shoe there on the top for putting the flash on, and also this is a battery driven unit. It actually takes two AAA batteries in the back, so just chuck out that silica gel, and then we've got the dip switches as well, which enable us again to kind of match the frequency with the other one. Got the hot shoe there on the bottom for putting it into the camera itself when we're using it in the remote shutter release mode, and then obviously again, like I said, they've got the dip switches there on the inside. Just put the case back on. Now also inside the case we get a collection of cables which are for use with the remote shutter mode, so you're pretty much going to be able to use that with any Nikon camera, and that really does differentiate between the Nikon version and the Canon version. Now let's have a look at this flash here and see what we've got inside the box. Let's just open that up, and obviously first of all we get, like usual, gumph, loads of instructions, mainly in Chinese, and oh, here we go, also English. Now we've got the actual flash itself. Comes in a nice little sort of velvety feel bag, which is quite a nice little thing for them to include. Let's just take that out and have a look what else we've got in the box. So we've just got like more instructions in there. We've got a stand for kind of floor mounting the flash as well, which is really handy, and also a little screw there for putting it onto a tripod if required. So in terms of the actual flash itself, here we go. Really nice looking flash. It's got a diffuser on the top there that you can slide out and use. It's completely multi-angled up to probably like, what, 90 degrees, something like that, which is obviously very useful because you don't really want to shine the flash directly at the person. And then on the back we've got a dial which controls how it's used. So we've got TTL mode, and we've also got a manual mode where we can manually control the power of the flash itself, along with a pilot button just to test it out and make sure that it's all working properly. So all in all, for sort of £60, I think that's quite a nice deal, considering that the equivalent Nikon is about 200 or something. Let's just grab my camera and see how this is actually going to look on the camera. Now obviously if we're using it directly on top of the camera, we just slide it into the hot shoe mount like this. Here we go. So you just slide it in, and then you can just do it like that, take a picture like that, not a problem at all. Just gives you a bit more of a powerful flash than the one that actually comes inbuilt into most cameras themselves. Now also, if we wanted to use the remote flash mode, we put the shutter release component on the camera, just place that directly on the hot shoe there, that's the one with the button on, and then we get the other component, put that into the bottom of the flash, and then we can just simply put that flash wherever we want. We can mount it on a tripod if we want, or we can just put it on the floor, and then when we actually press the shutter release button on the camera, it's going to remotely trigger the flash as well, so we can get like a much better control over where we're pushing the light on the portrait subject or whatever it is that we're taking a picture of. Now the other way around that you can do this, just take this off, oops, is to actually put the other component on the top of the hot shoe, and then we can hold the remote shutter release in our hand, and when we press that button, it's actually going to remotely trigger the shutter for the camera, therefore kind of enabling us to take pictures of ourselves or whatever we want, and we've just got to use this cable to connect it up in order to use that. But anyway guys, that's it. A few little photography items there. I thought you might be interested in having a look at those. Hope it was of some information to you. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. See ya.